Today, we're talking about something that could totally change the way we get around, Tesla's Robotaxi network. We're going to get into the money, the business, and what this all really means. So, what's the real deal here? Is this a genuine financial revolution in the making, or is it just a ton of hype? We're going to look at the incredible promise that has Wall Street buzzing, but then we're going to bring it right back down to earth and look at the actual costs, the competition, and just how hard this is going to be to pull off.
All right, let's dive in. First things first, to get why everyone's so excited, you really have to understand the sheer size of this opportunity. I mean, we are talking about numbers so big they could literally reshape economies.
Yeah, you're seeing that right. $10 trillion. That's the potential market for autonomous ride-hailing, according to firms like ARK Invest. And look, this isn't just about being a better Uber. This is about completely changing personal transport and grabbing a massive slice of that entire global pie.
And check this out. This chart is kind of wild because it shows that, in this vision of the future, robotaxis aren't just some side project. No. They're the main event. According to this model, the robotaxi business could be worth more to Tesla than its entire business of selling electric cars. Just let that sink in for a second.
And it's not just one firm dreaming this up. You've got heavy hitters like Morgan Stanley saying the same thing. They point to the, 3.2 trillion miles people drive every year in the US alone? The logic is simple, right? If you can offer a ride that's way safer and way cheaper than a human driving, well, the market for that is going to be absolutely gigantic.
So, that $10 trillion dream sounds amazing, but how does it actually make money? Let's get into the nitty-gritty and break down the actual business model.
You might think it's all about just passenger fares, like an Uber without a driver. And yeah, that's a big part of it. But the real secret sauce might be everything else. We're talking about high-margin software subscriptions for full self-driving, or FSD, selling services based on all the data these cars collect, and even running a custom insurance business that uses that data to offer better rates. It's a whole ecosystem.
Now this table is key. It shows you exactly why investors get so excited about the software side. Forget the sales column for a second and just look at the profit growth. Selling software is almost pure profit compared to the messy, expensive business of building a physical car. That's the engine that's supposed to make this whole thing incredibly profitable.
But okay, that's all the exciting revenue stuff. We all know that's only half the equation, right? You got to talk about costs. And this is where things get, a lot more complicated.
It's really easy to get caught up in the promise of super cheap autonomous rides. But what does it actually on the ground cost to keep one of these cars on the road? Let's dig into the numbers that sometimes get swept under the rug. You hear these target numbers like under 25 cents a mile, but when you really break it all down, it can look a lot different. Look at this estimate. The car's depreciation, just the value it loses by being used so much, is almost half the cost. Then you add on-site labor, insurance, electricity. It all adds up fast, and suddenly you're looking at over 50 cents a mile. And that's why having a cheap, purpose-built car is so critical. The math just doesn't work with a regular, expensive consumer vehicle.
And let's be real for a minute. This isn't just a clean problem you solve with code. It's a human problem, and humans are messy. This Reddit comment kind of says it all, doesn't it? A car might drive itself, but it sure isn't going to clean itself. You still need an army of people to handle cleaning, maintenance, and all the other grubby real-world stuff. And those people cost money. Okay, so the cost model is a huge challenge, but let's just say a company figures that out. They're still not operating in a bubble. This is a race, and Tesla is far from the only one on the track.
Make no mistake, this is a full-on global war. We're talking about billions upon billions of dollars being poured into this by every tech giant and car company you can think of. From the US to China, everyone wants to be the one to crack the code and make this work at a massive scale.
In the US, it really boils down to two titans, Tesla and Waymo, which is Google's project. And they are taking completely different shots at the same goal. Tesla's betting on just cameras and collecting a mind-boggling amount of data from its customers' cars. Waymo's using a whole suite of expensive sensors, including LiDAR, and painstakingly mapping out specific cities. Now, Tesla's approach could scale way faster. But here's the kicker. Waymo is already operating a paid, fully driverless service in several cities today.
And you absolutely cannot talk about this race without looking at China. Companies like Baidu, Pony AI, and WeRide aren't just playing catch-up. In many ways, they're speeding ahead. We're talking over 11 million rides completed by Baidu's service alone.
They have huge advantages with government support and lower manufacturing costs, and they're already operating at an incredible scale.
And to put that scale in perspective, let's bring it back to the US for a second. This number, over 250,000, that's reportedly how many paid rides Waymo is doing every single week. This isn't some future test program. This is a real, functioning business happening right now. It just shows you how mature the competition already is.
So you've got these staggering costs on one hand and fierce, fast-moving global competition on the other. What does the actual road to making money look like? Let's bring it all together.
The path to profitability isn't really a path. It's more like an obstacle course with 4 giant hurdles. First, you have to actually solve the core technology, get to true no human-needed autonomy. Second, you have to absolutely crush those per-mile operating costs. Third, you have to navigate a legal and regulatory maze. And finally, you have to convince all of us that it's safe enough to get in. Any one of those is tough. You have to clear all 4.
And let's just pause on that regulation hurdle for a sec, because it's a doozy. In the US, there's no single federal rulebook for this stuff. It's a chaotic patchwork of different laws in different states. So something that's totally legal in Arizona might be illegal one state over in California. Imagine trying to roll out a nationwide service with that kind of headache. It's a logistical nightmare.
So, at the end of the day, the race for the driverless future is on. It's really happening. But the winner won't just be the company with the smartest software or the coolest looking car. The winner will be the company that masters the entire, incredibly complex, expensive, and messy business of actually making this work in the real world, safely and profitably. That's the real challenge.